What does it really look like to live in Vietnam? Not the Vietnam in the travel videos, not the beaches, not the lanterns. The real one. The one behind the railway tracks. Today, I'll show you both sides of it. The side that struggles and the side that shines. Walk with me. My name is Tien, go on. I'm 26. A year ago, I thought I'd have my life figured out by now. A job, a salary, a direction. Instead, I have an empty schedule and a city full of things I've stopped noticing. So I made myself a small promise. If I can't move forward yet, I'll at least look around. Slowly, on foot. And today, I'll take you across one single afternoon in my city, Bien Hoa. And we'll start where I live, the poor side. The railway, the rented rooms, the markets, the cheap coffee that somehow tastes like home. Then we'll cross over to the side with the villas, the imported cars, the international school that looks like a palace. And this little room is where it all begins. That big printed backdrop behind me? Yeah, that's not fancy wallpaper. It's a leftover advertising panel, and I use it as my bedroom wall. Welcome to Budget Interior Design, Vietnamese edition. First mission of the day. Attack this blanket and roll it up before my mom walks past and sees it. And there's a little rule in my family. A folded blanket means a folded mind. Tidy the bed and the head follows. I'm 26, unemployed, and I still hear my mom's voice every single morning telling me to fold it up. And honestly, on the days when nothing else in life feels under control, this one small, neat little thing kind of saves me. And next stop, the bathroom. Time to brush my teeth with cold tap water. No heater, no spa, just Vietnamese survival mode. And the most serious ritual of my morning, the shave. I've got nowhere to be and nobody to impress, but I still scrape my face clean like I'm heading to a job interview. Because here's the thing, even when the day has absolutely nothing planned, I like to show up to it looking like I respect it. I'm downstairs. My first coworker is already waiting. The cat. She's claimed the best square of morning sunlight on the floor, like she does every day, and she does not care even a little that I'm broke. To her, I'm not unemployed. I'm just the guy who opens the door and fills the bowl. Out front, the dog goes full drama, tail spinning like a helicopter, like I've been gone 10 years instead of 10 hours. And a few stretches in the morning air. No gym, no membership, just my body and the ground it stands on. When you don't have money, your health stops being a hobby and becomes the one fortune you can't afford to lose. And there's still a pot of bang can ca lok from yesterday. Thick, chewy rice noodles in a broth made from snakehead fish. And for most people, this is just leftovers. For me, it's my favorite meal in the world. And it's even better the second day, when the broth has had a whole night to think about what it wants to be. And while it heats up, I make the dipping sauce. People think the soup is the star. They're wrong. The sauce is the soul. And fish sauce for the salt, a little sugar to round it off, fresh chili for the heat, and lime squeezed right at the end so it stays bright. All the parts I love most. Fried fish cake, golden, springy, with crispy edges that catch the sauce. And the side, 3 things that change everything. Sour bamboo shoots, sharp and tangy. Bitter herbs, clean and green, and bean sprouts, cold and crisp. And the fish stomach. Most people throw it away. I fry it until it's crispy outside and soft inside. For me, this is the best bite of the whole bowl, the one I save for last. And board it. Alright, belly's full. Time to explore. I could take the motorbike, but for this first stretch I'm going on foot, because in a neighborhood like mine, the good stuff never shows up through a motorbike. You have to walk it. You have to smell the coffee, hear the roosters, step over the puddles. This is my street, the place I grew up, and I want to show it to you exactly the way it is. No filter and no cleanup, just real. Over here, the neighborhood has its own little dance club. In the mornings it's empty, but in the evenings, the older folks gather to move, to laugh, to forget the day. Now, this is a fung tree, the flame tree. For every kid in Vietnam, this is the tree of summer, the one that bursts into bright red flowers right when school lets out for the holidays. And these fluffy white things blowing around. We call it caw lao. When I was little, me and my friends would each grab a stalk and sword fight until they exploded into fluff and floated off in the wind. And cheapest toy on earth, and still one of my favorites. And see that empty lot behind the school. It was once someone's big plan, but construction stopped years ago. Now it's just weeds, concrete, and another unfinished dream people have learned to pass by. And this power pole supplies electricity to the whole low-income area near where I live. It looks a little dangerous. A developing country, sites like this are pretty normal. Roads half open, drains under construction, and everyone just casually walking around like it's part of the tour. And this little cluster of rooms is home to a lot of workers near here, basically as close to a slum as it gets. 6 square meters each, and in this heat they turn into ovens, so doors stay wide open all day, just chasing whatever breeze they can catch. Privacy is a luxury. A little moving air is the real prize, and space is so tight that life spills outside. Laundry on the fence, stuff by the wall, pets chained on the road, the industrial zone's right there, traffic never stops. Walking the tracks, I spot someone watering their vegetables, grown right here beside the railway because there's no room back at the rooms. Smart use of leftover land. But let's be honest, a train comes through here a few times a day, and those tracks don't give much warning. A little garden, a little risk, that's just the math out here. And that right there is a little hair salon. And out front, a kid and his dad, just hanging out. Look up at that roof. Old corrugated tin, been there a long time, rusting through in patches. They know it needs fixing. But fixing costs money, and money's exactly what's short out here. So the roof stays, and life goes on underneath it. Oh, a little convenience store. Let me check it out. And look at this. All the snacks I grew up eating. And the ones that cost like 2,000 dome each and hit different when you're a kid. Can't walk past without grabbing a few. Future me will thank present me for this decision. Neighbors out front, chairs on the street, just talking. No cafe needed. Plastic chairs and good company is enough. The living room of the poor side of town. Found it. A little gap the locals knocked through just to reach the tracks. And these tracks, built by the French back in 1881, colonial era. Over 100 years later, still carrying goods and people across Vietnam like nothing changed. Old steel, long memory. And right here, the drain where everyone dumps their wastewater with the laundry hanging right beside it. The smell rising up hits the clothes, and everyone knows it. But when life is this tight, you stop noticing. It just becomes normal. That's the thing about hardship. It quietly moves the line of what's okay. And over there, stone tables and chairs where people come out to sit in the evening. Right beside it, another clothesline and a fresh little vegetable patch someone just planted. Laundry, greens, and a place to rest, squeezed into one tiny corner. Out here, every inch gets used. A trash pile the locals just burned. Bricks all black around it. No garbage truck comes out here, so burning is the only option. You work with what you've got. Oh, a train just rolled right through. Good thing I stepped off the tracks when I did. No warning, no countdown, just... there it is. Out here you learn fast. The railway doesn't wait for anyone. That train just blew my ears out. How does anyone sleep this close to the tracks? I genuinely don't know. But I guess when you've heard it every night for 10 years, it just becomes background noise. The human brain is wild like that.
Ở chợ hả?
Alright, boring here. Let me turn into this alley and see what's inside. And, yep, same thing. Laundry straight out on the street. Just like back at the tracks. Some things never change. Hey, what's that kid in the blue shirt doing over there? Let me get a closer look. Trash just piled up right on the street. The smell is something else. But people live here, eat here, sleep here, right next to it. And this house, someone's really into birds. Cages everywhere, all kinds, all singing at once. In Vietnam, keeping birds is a whole culture, mostly older men. A morning coffee, a singing bird, that's the good life sorted. The classic Vietnamese three-wheeler, modified, loaded with scrap, and still going. The workhorse of the poor side. Okay, the sun is absolutely brutal right now. It's lunchtime and I'm done, pulling over at the nearest rice shop. Let's eat. And it's still outside, and the smell of chicken just hits you. That's it, I'm sold. This is a fried rice shop. Cheap, filling, the go-to lunch for every working person around here. And look at that oil. Pitch black. That pan has seen a lot of meals, a lot of days. Probably been reused more times than I can count. But out here nobody bats an eye. It's just normal. And that golden stuff, fried rice cooked in chicken fat. The cart itself is actually pretty clean, wiped down proper. Then they dip it into a bucket of sauce before plating. Simple process, but that's exactly where all the flavor comes from. And here's my plate, simple as it gets. One piece of chicken, some cucumber, a bowl of broth. Nothing fancy, nothing extra. But honestly, sometimes simple is exactly right. First bite, the skin cracks. Golden and crispy, meat still juicy underneath, soaked in garlic and chicken fat. Every grain of rice coated in that smoky golden fat. And cucumber on the side to cut through the richness, light broth to wash it all down. Simple plate, but everything works together perfectly. Under 50,000 in dome, and I'm completely satisfied. I get why workers eat this every single day. Up, said thanks, and heading out. Good meal, good price. Nothing else to say. And those things drying out on the road. Sugarcane pulp, left over after pressing. Not thrown away though, once it's dry it becomes fuel for starting fires. Nothing gets wasted out here. Trash to one person, kindling to another. A cart of mittonu right next to a cafe. That's my sign. Pulling in. These little roadside cafes are everywhere out here, and almost every single one has a dog or a cat just hanging around like they own the place. Part of the charm. And this little guy again, still fat, still unbothered, living his best life on the cafe floor. Honestly, the most relaxed creature in this whole neighborhood. And every table, chess. Working men, middle-aged and older, coming here on lunch breaks, days off, or just when life feels heavy. Katung is basically the glue that holds this place together. The empty tables are just waiting for the next player. This cafe doesn't sell coffee. It sells a reason to slow down. There it is, Cafe Sua. Strong, sweet, cold, exactly right. Dark Robusta, condensed milk, poured over ice. Vietnam's most iconic drink, and it costs 80 cents. 80 cents. The rich side charges 6 times that for something half as good. Time to read. Open it right to my bookmark, a finance book. Money, investing, wealth building. Pretty ironic reading this in a 50-cent cafe while being broke. But hey, knowledge first, money later. Gotta be ready for when it shows up, right? Right, book down. Now I'm watching the 2 guys at the table across from me. Dead serious, both of them. Not a word between them. I'd guess both over 50. And in Vietnam, the older the player, the sharper the game. My money's on the bald one. He's got that look. The table next to them, same thing, completely locked in, not even blinking. One guy just made a move, and the other is staring at the board like it personally offended him. Nobody's talking, and nobody's rushing. The whole world outside just doesn't exist right now. And honestly, I get it. Once you learn this game, it pulls you in and doesn't let go. Every move opens 10 new problems, and solving them is somehow both stressful and deeply satisfying at the same time. No wonder these guys come back every single day. Anyway, I spotted a fruit cart on the way in, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Time to go check it out. And this fruit right here, super popular in Vietnam. Small thing, only about 10 to 17 centimeters wide, 1 to 6 kilos max. But don't let the size fool you. Incredibly sweet, the kind of sweet that every single Vietnamese person loves. I'm grabbing one to try right now. And he cracked it open. Golden yellow inside, smell hit me immediately. Asked 210, talked him down to 180. Fair deal. Grabbed a bag, packed the whole thing up nice. Now back inside the cafe. Chest still going, dog still sleeping, fan still spinning. Time to find out if this fruit lives up to that smell. I have a feeling it will. And it delivers. Sweet, soft, that golden flesh melting right away. Absolutely worth the 180. Only downside, the seed is massive, so there's not much to eat per piece. But what's there is perfect. And paired with a sip of café sua right after. That bitterness cutting through the sweetness. Honestly, one of the best combos I've had all day. Sitting here, chest still clicking in the background, and cold coffee on the table, the fat dog still passed out on the floor, nobody rushing anywhere. Could stay forever. But I've still got half a city to see, and the afternoon's not getting any younger. Road's calling. Time to move. Lottery stand. And I always buy one. In Vietnam, everyone plays, rich or poor. 2 minutes of believing today could change everything. Good luck to that guy in the blue shirt, too. And heading home to grab the bike. Before I leave, lock the gate. In Vietnam, you never skip this step. Theft is real. Everybody knows it, and nobody wants to come home to an empty house. One turn of the key, locked, helmet on, let's go. But about 2 minutes in, I glance down, and the fuel gauge is sitting dangerously low. Almost empty. Great timing. Either I find a gas station fast, or I'm pushing this thing down the road in the afternoon heat like a complete idiot. Not exactly the vibe I'm going for. Eyes open, looking for a gas station, can't be far. And just a quiet back alley. Only locals know it's here. And just like that, a spontaneous market, popping up on both sides of the road. Food, clothes, spices, everything. This is actually where I do most of my shopping, close to home and cheap. Look at how busy it is. Sellers calling out, buyers squeezing through, motorbikes weaving past. Nobody planned this market, it just grew here naturally. And honestly, it works perfectly. And pickled vegetables, a Vietnamese classic. Sour, crunchy, salty. Been eating this my whole life and it never gets old. And right next to it, a fish stall selling cá điêu hồng, red tilapia. One of the most common fish in Vietnam, affordable, easy to cook, shows up on dinner tables everywhere. A working family staple. And this stretch of market, always jammed every single time. Buyers, sellers, motorbikes, all fighting for the same strip of road. Nobody's moving fast, nobody's in a hurry to give way. Out here, getting stuck in this is just part of the daily routine. Seafood stall, mostly already dead. Live seafood costs too much that stays in the malls for the rich side. Out here you get what's affordable. and it still cooks up fine. And this is my usual fruit stall, the one I always come back to. Fresh, cheap, close to home. Simple as that. And over there, the vegetable stall. Everything laid out right on the ground, no fancy display. Buyers just squat down, pick through, grab whatever's still fresh and firm, stuff it in a bag, weigh it, pay. Quick, simple, honest. And that stall over there. River fish, fresh from the water. Cheap, simple, and perfectly within budget for people like me. Not the fancy stuff, but honest food that fills the stomach and doesn't empty the wallet. They keep live ones on display so you know it's fresh. Pick one, they chop and gut it right there on the spot. Take it home, straight into the pot. Simple as that. And this market just keeps going and going. Packed the whole way through, no sign of thinning out. Sellers on both sides, buyers squeezing through the middle, motorbikes inching forward inch by inch. I just want out, honestly. Way too crowded for my comfort. Lucky the weather's decent today, because if this heat was any worse, it would be completely unbearable in here. But then, out of nowhere, a massive truck tries to squeeze through this tiny little road. No idea what the driver was thinking. And this street can barely fit 2 motorbikes side by side, and this guy rolls in with a full-size truck. Everyone freezes, flattens against whatever wall or stall is closest, and holding their breath, while this thing crawls past centimeter by centimeter. Genuinely a little scary. And parking here and walking around. This is where I buy my clothes. Cheap, looks decent, fabric's nothing fancy but gets the job done. Sandals for $2. For someone like me, that's perfect. Fruit stall looks so fresh. Tempting, but I've already got the mitt, and that'll last me a few days. Walk away, Tien. Walk away. Got more clothing stalls. Shirts, pants, everything from about $1 each. $1 for a full outfit if you play it right. This is where the working people of this city actually shop. And kites, straight out of my childhood. Just plastic and a long roll of string, wait for the wind and let it fly. Simple as it gets, but nothing beat it growing up. Alright, time to actually shop. My pants are coming apart at the seams, so I need a few new pairs. Now the hard part, picking. There's so many styles here I've never even tried before. This might take a while. I just bought the pants. And across the road, a few cows quietly grazing. These are local Vietnamese cattle, the kind that's been here forever. People keep them for plowing the fields, for meat, or for milk. Simple, useful, unfussy, just like everything else out here. And let me get a closer look. These guys are surprisingly friendly. This one's completely focused on the grass, doesn't even notice me. And now they're wandering onto the road. Totally normal out here in the countryside. And then, oh no. One of them gets spooked, starts running everywhere, motorbike slams the brakes, hard to avoid it. Heart in my throat for a second. This is exactly why I said these cows are dangerous. Peaceful 1 second, chaos the next. I'm not sticking around for that, grabbed the bike and got out of there immediately. Not dying today. Sun's going down and people are heading home, traffic's finally thinning out. Road feels completely different now. Easy, open, breathable. This is the best time to ride. And right on cue, a train rolls past. I've never once been on one of these. Never traveled far, never had the budget for it. One day, maybe. For now, I just watch it go and wonder where it's headed. And this spot right here, a railway crossing, and everybody's stuck. Bikes, motorbikes, a few cars, all bunched up on both sides waiting for the train to clear. Nobody moves, nobody can. The barriers come down and that's it. You just park your engine and wait. Could be 2 minutes, could be 5. Nobody really knows. People use the time however they can, checking their phone, chatting with the person next to them, lighting a cigarette, just staring blankly into the distance. Me? I just sit here and watch the whole little scene play out, and there's something weirdly peaceful about a forced stop in the middle of a busy day. Everyone equal, everyone waiting, the train the undisputed boss of this intersection. And then the barrier goes up, and engines roar back to life, and just like that the whole thing scatters. I'm pulling in to fill up. Now here's the thing, I normally ride a bicycle, so I barely ever need gas. Filling up a motorbike is kind of a rare occasion for me, but today I've been riding all over the place, so here we are. The pump clicks on and this fill comes to $2. $2 sounds cheap, and compared to a lot of countries it is, but out here, and for the people living in these neighborhoods, $2 is real money. And the painful part is that it keeps going up. Ever since the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, and fuel prices have been climbing steadily, and every single increase gets felt immediately by the working people out here. No buffer, no savings to absorb it. Just a higher number at the pump and a tighter week ahead. The guy filling up next to me sighs when he sees the total. I get it. We all get it. Thanks. Full. Back on the road. And this stretch of road is lined with food and drink stalls. All kinds. Smells amazing walking past. But honestly, for someone like me, these aren't everyday stops. I only let myself eat here on special occasions, like a birthday. The rest of the time I just ride past and enjoy the smell for free. That's the poor man's version of dining out. That big building, a shopping mall, never been inside. Too expensive. I only know it from the outside. And this is the most upscale and busy part of the city center. I'm walking through a wealthy neighborhood now, multi-story houses everywhere, and parked along the road are luxury cars I've genuinely never seen in real life before. Same city I've lived in my whole life, but this part feels like a completely different country. And that cafe, so sleek. Definitely not my side of town. Wider streets, but even more fancy cars. A little overwhelming, honestly. And that gate, easily the most impressive thing on this street. Just standing next to it makes you feel broke. And that car looks like a Rolls-Royce to me. Leave a comment and tell me if I'm right. 4 8s on the plate. In Vietnam, a plate like that costs a fortune on its own. The car itself, I'm guessing around $2 million. $2 million. I spent $2 on gas today. And that gate, stunning carving, probably costs a year of my food budget. Clean air, green trees everywhere. Wish I could come here more often. A world apart from where I live. Never gonna own a home here. That's just reality. Kids playing like this is all normal. And that building looks exactly like a Disney castle. Standing here, I feel like a tourist in my own city. Look at that kid. Shuttlecock stuck in the tree, so he takes off his flip-flop and throws it up to knock it down. Classic move. And it works. Got it. Rich side, poor side, doesn't matter. A kid with a stuck shuttlecock will always find a way. And this machine looks interesting. The way people are using it is pretty cool. Feels more intuitive than the other one, honestly. Might actually come back to try this one properly. And those two over there look like they're taking a break after walking. Pretty tired. And that little girl jumping rope nearby, completely in her own world. Oh, and way over there, a cute little dog just hanging out. Everyone here doing their own thing, their own pace. Nice little scene. And back on the main road, and there it is. The tallest building where I live. Stunning. And at the base, a coffee shop that looks like one of those world-famous chains I've never once tried in my life. And crossing the road now, still looking up at that building. And that big building with the red lettering and the waterfall, the most expensive school in this area, built for the children of the wealthy. Look how it stands out. The whole thing is red, impossible to miss. A school that looks more like a 5-star hotel. Some kids grow up going here, and this place feels different the moment you step in. Solemn, quiet, heavy. These statues represent the soldiers who fell in the resistance against America. Because of them, this country has peace today. Because of them, I get to live an ordinary life. The least I can do is stop and remember. I'm grateful, truly. And just like that, the sun's going down on this whole day. From the poorest alley to the tallest building, all in one city, all in one afternoon. Thanks for coming along with me. I hope you saw something real today. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.